5.6 million Americans have switched their banks to credit unions or smaller banks in the last 90 days. So this is a really, really great update on Bank Transfer Day, which was started by Occupy protesters. When it first happened, there were news reports that about 600,000 people had transferred their bank accounts from big banks to a credit union. But then after that, there was an update saying, no, it was more around 200,000 people. But now you look at the numbers, and about 5.6 million people in total have transferred their money in the last 90 days. And about 610,000 of those people cite Bank Transfer Day as their reason for doing so.
Yeah, and that's got to be a conservative number because probably a lot of them, didn't answer the question or didn't specifically say it, but might have been influenced, etc. So first of all, 610,000 transfers is gigantic. And that's a huge success. And look, the most important thing is if you hit them in the pocketbooks. That's the most effective form of protest. And the bank's stock prices are suffering. Now, look, for a number of different reasons, not purely because of this, but I think that is an incredibly effective protest. And I'm actually really proud of Occupy Wall Street to be able to pull off something that dramatic, and I think that in fact the media is underplaying it. I mean, you want to talk, has the Tea Party had an financial effect like this at all? And well, of course, they didn't even protest the banks, even though they hated the bank bailouts. Man, they got hoodwinked, right? But here, this is really effective. It's fantastic.
It is effective, and it sends, look, there are arguments as to whether or not this is sending a message to the banks. And I think it is, because if you look at the numbers, this is 3 times the normal rate of bank transfers.
Yeah, so that's gigantic.
That is gigantic.
You can't argue with that. 3 times the size. I mean, if it was like 1.4 times more, you might be like, maybe it was just seasonal or something. 3 times, you can't make an argument.
It sends a message to the banks, which is part of the reason why Bank of America reversed its $5 a month debit fee charge, remember?
Yeah.
And also, it shows you that the Occupy protesters not only were able at changing the discussion in the United States, but they're effective in actually changing doing real activism that sends a message to the banks. So they've been successful in a lot of different ways, even after they've been evicted from all of these parks throughout the country.
And understand that, first of all, the banks care tremendously about this, and why they receive the message is because they use depositor money as leverage for their gambling. So when they gamble with risky derivatives, the way that they back it up is by saying, oh, no, it's okay because I have cash on hand. Where's the cash from? From depositors' money. In fact, one of the large banks recently went and petitioned the government to be able to use their depositor money here in the U.S. for risky derivatives bets that they made in Europe. And of course, our government being what it is, the FDIC complained because they actually had somebody ahead of the FDIC who cared, right, and who's always been good on this stuff. But the Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke, came in and said, what are you talking about? No. This country is for the banks, by the banks, of the banks, right? So no, we will allow them to bet with your money. So that's why you're smart to transfer your money out of there. It's a great move by Occupy Wall Street.